Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the first session for our leadership classes. My name is Rashad, Dr. Rashad. I'm from Malaysia. I will be in charge of this course. I hope that all together we can have a very good, strong class and then create very good outcome. Okay, basically, before, because I can see not lots of people join the class yet, we cannot start the chapter, so I prefer to just give you some basic introduction of the class. Okay, and then that is definitely a good start. Okay, in this class as you know, there will be no test. The whole class assessment will be based on assignment that I will assign you later on. The detail of assignment will be told to you next session when we have more definitely attendees. But this session is all about giving a basic, actually concise form of what we are going to do in this semester, and basically our outline and the rest of the things that I can put them as priorities. Anyway, your assignment, if I want to just give you a general explanation what that would be, a group assignment that you have to create different groups, 5 to 6 students in each group. They're going to be participants, and then at the end of the day, as you have been together, as I got some information from the office, I know the students basically are going to be familiar to each other, so that would be enough easy for them to create groups. So I will leave it to you who is going to be in your group and how you want to basically compose the group. But then the detail of assignment, what you have to do, it will be later on explained. For me, this linear curve is actually happening as well. So if you are for the first session, we do have basically some not perfect class that is quite understandable from both sides. I do believe this is an understanding matter, but I will do my best to contribute as much as I can. As I can see, still there are just 2 attendees, and so with this 2 number, I think we can start the class now. Okay, this is chapter 1, Introduction to the Nature of Leadership. Today we are going to talk about the significance of this course, why we actually need to go through such a course in MBA level or even in post-MBA later on, and why such a course is going to be practical and kind of important for any position holder in industry to have it. As you can see, I share with you the chapter, the introduction, the nature of leadership. We have learning objectives, as you can see here, why leadership has been defined in so many different ways. We will be discussing how leadership will be defined in this field by itself. Controversy about differences between leadership and management will be discussed as well. And the next issue will be why it is so difficult to assess leadership effectively. So, besides those basic leadership objectives that we have, learning objectives that we have, now we have the rest coming up. Indicators used to assess leadership effectiveness will be discussed, as well as what aspects of leadership have been studied. And in last, as you can see, last 50 years. There are other issues as well that we will see, like the organization of this book, plus individual dynamic group organizational process in leadership. But what is the definition of leadership? What is the reason why leadership is super vital for each organization to have? There are almost as many definitions of leadership as there are persons who have attempted to define the concept. So as you can see, this explanation or definition shows how diverse or basically versatile the whole leadership is going to be, as far as there are so many people try to define it, and as you can see, they could have their own basically pitch to that, and then despite that each of these definers added to leadership creates a new definition. So we cannot say that the leadership basically is something that we can just simply say, okay, yes, leadership is just in those 5 words. This is not marketing. This is not anything principle to management whatsoever. I can see there are some messages here that some students are asking for, like basically the message is not clear. I do my best to make it as much as possible clear. I think there are connection issues as usual in your home countries. Anyway, so we keep going by explaining the next issues after knowing leadership, basically what are different approaches and so on. Let's have like some of the definitions that we tabulated here. Okay, the first one is this. Leadership is the behavior of an individual directing the activities of a group towards a shared goal. You see, this is kind of complicated version of what the leadership can be defined as, like basically in other books and so on. Here you see the behavior of an individual. It means everything is going to be around an individual. Directing the activities of a group towards a shared goal. It means there is a goal, whether in organizational level or community level, and there is one person that can help behavior-wise to make that goal or basically target being achieved by organization. So this is the first behavior, basically we can say definition that we have. Let's look at another one. Leadership is the influential increment over and above mechanical compliance with routine directives of the organization. This is done by Cott and Kahn, 1978. You see, it's not a very contemporary approach to leadership. Let's look at later versions of definitions, like as you can see here, leadership is the process of making sense of what people are doing together, so that people will understand and be committed. So you see, this is much more basically okay, I get these messages on and on that some students are claiming that the voice is not really clear. I do believe I can check my voice here and it's perfectly fine. Please make sure that you make I have some noises coming up, so from Nashat Valley, Nuristani, if it's possible for you, please keep it on mute. Okay, there was an interruption while I was talking. Mitra, I can see there was a gentleman, I think, that was on. I please ask you all, when you come in the class, make sure that you're on mute. Then your entrance in the class doesn't interrupt the whole thing. I was constantly interrupted by that. Anyway, let's come back here. Leadership, the final definition that we have here, which is the most comfortable one in this page, 1999, House et al., which is like House and their colleagues. They define leadership as the ability of an individual to influence, motivate, enable others to contribute toward the effectiveness and success of organization. So as you can see, this is the most simplistic approach to our definitions, and let's monitor on this as it can help us more. Since the beginning of leadership and management issues and all of the principles that they were derived from basic researches done by different researchers, there was all the time this issue of asking this question: what is the difference between manager and a leader? Or management and leadership, are they the same or they're different? So definitely through history, this issue was all the time one of those sizzling one, and everybody was trying to hit. But if I want to explain on it and a little bit clarify what we're trying to have as management, what is the difference between management and leadership, we can say this way. Okay, first of all, leadership is one of the functions that a manager has to have, like control, organization, planning, and all of those things. While leadership is a behavior that a manager can have additionally, besides looking at that as a function, that helps that specific manager to be more successful by leading, motivating, influencing, and enabling the subordinates to do a job that they might not do if they didn't have such a leader. So that kind of explains what leadership is all about. So we can say leaders are born while managers are basically trained. So this is another approach that can be discussed all the way, and beside the basic issues that we have here. So let's go later on and see what's going on about different aspects of leadership, because this is an introduction chapter. We have to go to different areas, try to make it as much as possible concise, but beside that, try to hit different parts of leadership. As you can see, we have some additional controversies that we can decide: a specialized role or shared influence process, type of influence process, purpose of influence attempt. Okay, we have Mr. Harun. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can just let me allow you. Okay. So what the question is? Mr. Muhammad Harun. Now.
Do you hear me, sir?
Sorry.
Do you have my voice?
Yes, perfectly clear. Yes, yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Yes.
We have problem. We have problem of your voice. It is broken, and we cannot hear you very well. And we are putting our messages on the chat box, but sometimes you do not see it. Can we fix the problem before continuing the class? Thanks.
Okay, that is a good issue, but actually the technical problems are not things that I'm specialized in, or we don't really have anybody here in terms of, like, you have to see based on your, because this is a probably frequent problem and you've seen it before, so how you deal with this before?
But it's better to stop rather than going ahead, and that the students cannot catch anything.
So you mean you cannot hear me at all, or it's
we are
not
wasting the time? It's better to have the quality of the voice, then you can continue. I can hear you, but I don't know what you're speaking clearly. It means I have your voice, but I cannot understand very well. Thanks.
Okay, that's the problem. So then, okay, did you have such a problem before?
No,
Did you have
sometimes during the first semester, no, sometimes we could have it, but that was solved very quickly. Not from beginning till end of the class. Just for a few minutes or for 10 minutes, then it is sorted out quickly.
Okay, so to be honest with you, I really cannot detect any reason why the voice is not really clear to you. I can talk to technical team later on and see what's going on. But as far as now, it's the place that I'm actually conducting the class. Time is almost 10 p.m. and now it's to be exact 10:20. So there is no technical access. I can make you host for a while and try to contact the technical team, see what's going on, and then try to come back to you. So I try to basically accommodate your basic question. So what I'm trying to do is giving you the hostship of the class by just a moment, Mr. Sahaf. Okay, you are now the host. So I'm gonna just call the technical team to see what's going on. Okay, so please accept my apology for 5 minutes. So, hi everybody. Oh, perfect. Now everybody said that the sound is much clearer now. Okay, good. Ahmad Harun Sahab. Okay, very good. Okay, everybody better now. Okay, okay. It's like it's all right if you're exactly announcing what is going on, so I can come up with a. Okay. I'm trying to use the same. Um, okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you all can hear me properly, not good enough. Again, some. Okay, I really did my best to be able to It's breaking again. Okay, can we start from the beginning? Yes, why not? I can start from beginning. No problems. Okay. So I'll just very fast tell you what we've done so far. That this is five. Okay. 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 We started with the basic definitions of leadership, and we came to this point that again we have a technical team calling me because the problem that you said. Just a moment, please. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back again. I received a call from technical team. They said that they are going to provide a better, maybe the problem is microphone or something. We try to replace exactly what's going on, and after that, most probably everybody's going to get it perfectly. Okay, for Mr. Saab who was asking, can we start from beginning? Yes, or not, we can start from beginning. We actually didn't do so much. It was all about definition of leadership and then the objectives of this course. Objectives are perfectly clearly here. You can share them, you can see them at the beginning. What we are going to have in this specific set of slides. And after this, we went to this basic facts that as many as possible, we have leadership definition, and the reason is whoever tried to define it came up with a new one. So we just showed you some basic leadership definitions here. We went through old one, which is 1957, 1978 or something. Then we came up to the latest one that I showed you with basically here. So basically you can and so as you can see, last two definitions here are the latest definitions that we have. I do believe that you are okay. Just please chat here and write over there whether you are clear with my voice or not. Okay. Again, the voice is not clear. I will continue upon your no stirring. Oh, I don't know what is really happening. So the only thing is I can slow it down for a while, waiting for microphone to be changed. I do believe it's gonna happen less than 10 minutes. So I need your patience, and then that can be done immediately. If I even speak slowly, you cannot still hear me properly. Then we just wait for new microphone to come. Besides that, as far as I want to check whether you are able to speak as well. Is there anybody who's gonna have his opinion about basic leadership mission? What you know about leadership? I can give you the chance of presenting what your idea is about definition of the definitions of leadership. So I will go back to Mr. Also, that I gave once a chance. So please let me know what you know about leadership. This is just for the, I'm trying to delay a little bit, wait for the microphone to be changed. So I need your patience. Just let me know what you think about leadership thing. So I'm going to talk with you. No, okay. I don't really want you to give me any academic definitions of leadership, because that definitely is not going to work. That's why you're attending this class. I want to know what you think a leader is all about. Mr. Sahib?
So,
Yes, please.
yes. Very briefly, thank you, sir. Very briefly, leadership is the art of influencing people, giving motivation to people, building teamwork environment, and supporting the team in order to lead them towards a joint, a common goal for the organization.
Okay, perfect. I think your definition is just nice, and I found it kind of comprehensive. Okay, so I do believe you have to contribute more in discussions from now on. That is a very nice way of explaining. We have another
Thank you.
Student here, Sahib Zada, if I don't make a mistake. You are explaining leadership, so I can give you the chance of talking. Thank you, Mr. Sahib. Let me go to Sahib Zada and see what Sahib Zada has to say. Okay. Mr. Sahib Zada?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest greeting. Leadership is the motivating of people. Leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to work toward achieving common goals.
Okay. Okay, perfect, nice. So can you explain a little bit more what you mean by?
Like leadership is motivating the people, the group of the people to achieve the project organization goals.
Very, very good, very good. Okay. It's you see, what I can see commonly among all of your definitions that first you were mentioning, all of you are referring to something called functional goals and also influencing people. Yeah, definitely these two are two attached basic specification of a leader and a trait that it has to be there to be able to navigate leader to be able to do the job as they claim, at the beginning. So I can see there is a very good knowledge, practical knowledge there among your students. As far as I try to change the microphone now, I do believe now you have a much better, clear voice. Please, in chat, write down if you cannot hear me properly, then it has to be something else. Because we are trying to troubleshoot the problem, and I just replaced the microphone, and I do believe that now the voice has to be super clear. So please write down if you're not hearing me properly.
Okay, sir. Can I mute my my microphone?
Yes, please mute it. Thank you so much. So let's go back. I think yeah, now it's better, good, a little bit. Some they're saying, yeah. So based on general comments that I can see, you can hear me much better than before. So I've seen Mr. Muhammad as well. As a very nice definition over there. So I'm going to give this chance to him as well, explaining Muhammad Asif to explain his opinion, and then we will basically go further and explain more. So Mr. Muhammad Asif, can you hear me properly?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to convey my best greetings and compliments to all my classmates as well as to the honorable lecturer. By my understanding,
thank you so much.
Yeah, by my understanding, leadership is a way of focusing and motivation a group to enable them to achieve their aims. It also involves being accountable and responsible for the group as a whole.
Oh, perfect. Actually, I exactly read what you wrote over there, and it was actually a very nice one. I can tell you, yeah, besides achieving goals for each group, the leader has an authority. That authority obligates the leader to take care of the basically followers. And I can see you try to outline that specific adjective there, which is really nice. This is kind of additional to what your friend so far mentioned. Besides that, that obligation, accountability that you are mentioning over here comes from the responsibility that the leader has after having that authority being given to it, to its basically function. Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad. Is there anything that you want to add to what you just said?
Yeah, just a leader should provide continuity and momentum as well as being flexible and allowing changes of directions.
Exactly. Thank you so much. It is another, yes, you see, leadership or being a leader, and it's a very comprehensive term.
Yeah, right.
So there are so many traits and adjectives that we can discuss, and we can talk about on and on for a long time. But it's nice to share this again and again with your students. Thank you so much. And I want to extend my apology to all of you because there was some basic internet problem. We had to conduct the class, like I have to be in a place which is kind of public, so you may hear some sounds that they're not really pleasant. So I, in advance, apologize for such a thing, but I will do my best to not be really affected by that. Let's go back to the class, try to explain the basically PowerPoint slides that we have. We already talked about the definitions, different aspects, and so on. Let's talk about some additional controversies around this leadership. Okay, a specialized role or shade influence process. This is one of the items that you can have it there. Type of influences process, purpose of influence to attempt, influence based on reason or emotions, direct versus indirect leadership. There are all different issues in leadership that they can be discussed as topics by themselves, alone, in different areas. But we don't really want to hit all of these things because this first chapter is all about reviewing the main outline and not being really detailed. The only one that I'm going to be more specific in detail about that will be leadership versus management. As you can see, the last topic here, that I can kind of show it to you with the arrow. This leadership versus arrow, as I was explaining you before having any technical problem, it's one of those controversial issues that has been discussed for a long time. What is the significant difference between leaders and managers, and then management and leadership, what are the differences, and so on. As I told you, there are significant differences, and leadership is one of the functions of management. And a leader is not necessarily a manager, but a manager has to have leadership specification to be able to handle the organization. As far as leadership is one of the functions. There are other issues that we can discuss, like basically being a manager is an inherent issue, or it can be acquired. It means going through, for example, MBA classes, you can learn to be manager. But can you learn to be a leader? That is the question. So, as a matter of fact, leadership is something which is charismatic and inherent. So it means you don't learn to be a leader. You can use others' experience to be able to connect to better leadership levels, but it doesn't mean that you can learn to be a leader. You see, most of the good leaders in the world, or the biggest leaders in the world, if you want to look at the history of mankind, people like Hitler, like Mussolini, like Mao Zedong in China, like Gandhi in India, they were all people that were not actually aware of any managerial basically education, or they weren't actually educated in that sense, but they could lead people to places that nobody could do till that time that they were actually in existence. So that issue is the issue that can lead us to this point, that there is a significant difference in between a leader and a manager. So far, as far as I already explained these differences, I want to hear what you think about that. So if there is anybody who's gonna kind of explain or describe or kind of contribute to whatever we've said so far, please raise your hand. I will definitely attend. I can see Mr. Arun Saib is here to ask things, plus Mr. Muhammad Latif. I will give you both this chance to talk. So let's first talk to Mr. Muhammad Arun. Mr. Harun, can you talk? Can you hear me? I made you on mute, but apparently you went again. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I would just like to continue by adding some more differences between the managers and the leaders.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
The managers in the organization, they mainly do the management, while the leaders are more initiative. They are doing more initiative and proactive work. And managers always ask their staff how and when But in order to create initiative for initiation or motivation amongst the staff, leaders always ask what and why. It means they're motivating the staff to come up with new ideas from their own. And the managers mainly focus on the system, how the system should work, while the leaders, by influencing on the staff, they mainly focus on the staff, on the personnel, rather than on the system. And the managers do the work in the right way, but leaders try to do the right thing. And managers mainly focus on controlling the system, while leaders are trying to build up a teamwork environment to contribute to confidence building in the organization. And leaders are more proactive, and they always come up with new concepts and ideas in order to keep the organization developing rather to stuck on the traditional way of management. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a very comprehensive answer. I really enjoyed listening to you. Let's go to Mr. Muhammad Asif and see what he has to say.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
clearly.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Muhammad?
Yeah, by my understanding, leadership is mainly focusing on motivating a group and enabling them to achieve their aims through various approaches, methodologies. It provides allowing changes of direction, and it has some flexibility in terms of leadership overall. But by my understanding, manager, I think that the main aim of the manager is to maximize the output of the organizations through administrative implementation. And the managers must undertake organizing, planning, staffing, directing, and controlling, I mean, functions of management. Mainly managers focusing on these functions of management, and leadership is overall motivations enabling a group of people, a group of, in order to get the specific goals and objectives.
Yes, exactly. Again, that was another nice definition. You see, what I can see is you all gentlemen at this group that you talk, I can see you have a basic good experience about the whole idea of management and leadership, and the way that you're explaining the whole topic from your perspective can show this to me. So as an instructor, I don't try to exactly give you a basic fundamental definitions, because this level of education shouldn't be that way. We're going to have all of our classes in this complicated way. Like I didn't raise an issue and try to make everybody to continue, but I have to make sure besides these two gentlemen, Muhammad Asif and Muhammad Harun Sahab, there are other students as well that they are contributing. Then the class will be more dynamic and so on. Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad Asif. I've seen,
thank you, sir.
If I don't, thank you so much. We have Miss Nadia, if I don't make a mistake, trying to raise a question, also saying that still she has difficulty listening to me. Do you want me to make you unmute and see what exactly you have to say?
Hello? Can you hear
Hello?
me? Is it me?
Miss Nadia, I don't have your voice properly. It's not clear. I think that is mutual. You cannot hear us properly, we cannot hear you as well. Okay, will you please speak louder? Miss Nadia, can you hear me? Miss Nadia? Okay, apparently Miss Nadia cannot hear me properly. So why don't we go with, can you hear me, Miss Nadia? Hello?
My classmate just initiative and highlighted, sir. I don't know why the voice is not clearly to you. Hello?
Okay, I think Miss Nadia, you definitely have to take care of the microphone set that you have as I've done it, and most probably everybody can hear you properly. So if you allow me, I'm going to unmute you. Sorry, mute you because you were on mute already. You asked Mr. Nasrat Ghani Nuristani to give his opinion so far. Mr. Nasrat, if you have any opinion, please let us know. Mr. Nuristani, can you hear me?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Sir, I have. First of all, I would like to pay my gratitude to you and to all of my students, my class
Thank you
fellows.
so much.
Yes, as
Same here.
our classmates have discussed leadership, I totally agree with them. But it's my point of view that, according to my point of view, leadership is part of management. And some of our friends have discussed leadership. They have separated leadership from the management. So, for example, in one organization, we don't have one leader and one manager to do separate things. One to work on system, one to focus on the leading people. So, leadership is part of management, and a manager should be able to motivate their employees, to encourage them, to empower them, and be a good communicator. If you are a good communicator, and you are a good leader, this was my point of view. I hope, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I do believe that your definition was clearly related and relevant, as well as the rest. Okay, I don't exactly remember anybody questioning this fact that leadership is one of the functions of management. Definitely it is, as my initial explanation was all about that. In this session, I'm not trying to cover as much as possible in this slide and make the class boring by just bringing. I do believe even discussing a matter in detail from different aspects can make the work much more attractive rather than focusing on the slide more than enough and then end up having, as Mr. Sahib said, I do believe the same thing. If we discuss something basic and clearly, it's much better than just going fast and not having it clearly discussed. Thank you so much, Mr. Nuristani. So if you allow me, I'm going to go further and explain specialized roles or shared influence process in the whole leadership. As you can see here, we have a specialized role, a specialized, what is this specialized leadership role that we are all talking about? Some functions that can be shared. There are the functions that leaders actually use. They can do delegation of authority by asking some followers to do the same, but some of them are not really possible to be shared. So now we're talking about the specialized role. There are some basic shared influence processes as well that naturally occurring, and any member can be a leader at any time. For example, if the main leader who is navigating the whole team or group through goals and basically milestones that they were supposed to achieve, and for any reason that leader cannot be available for certain process, usually automatically and naturally some followers can basically play the same role and try to navigate the whole team to reach the destination. So this is going to kind of tell you what's going on when we, about the specific roles or specialized roles that the leaders can play, and some specialized roles that by the way they are specialized but they still can be shared. Let's go further. Let's talk about different influences that can happen. The titled influence process. Okay, leadership only occurs when influence attempts result into reactive commitment. Means there should be a commitment which is shared among all of the followers and leader, and that basic dynamism helps everybody to follow the basic goal to achieve them and try to commit to them and not try to give it up in any circumstance happening, which is not sometimes expected. All types of influence need to be examined even when forcing or manipulating subordinates. What do you mean by that? Look at the history and look at World War II. What happened to Germany? Germany started as an invader 1939 by invading Poland as the first country. It was the victim of what Hitler had in his mind as a leader. But we are not talking about, we are not judging Hitler, let's put it that way, like whether what he was done was right or wrong. What we are trying to do here now is all about how he could influence his followers, that even after Germany was kind of defeated in most of the wars and battles in different fields, still German soldiers, they were showing their basically salutation to their leader, who was Adolf Hitler. And it can be clearly seen in one of, for example, things that it was very clear, and then there are lots of video footage about that. There was a camp, freedom camp in Canada, that American soldiers were sending the German soldiers that they were captured by Americans to those camps. And these camps, they were definitely in cold area and not really idealistic for people to even live, and even being in prison is going to even make it worse. So, but the footage shows, by the way, that these German soldiers, they were all in custody of American troops. Still, they were showing their salutation by giving Heil Hitlers, and they weren't afraid of this fact that anytime soon they're going to lose the whole game, and they may have capital punishment as a result of what they've done. And it was completely understandable how a leader could influence that much deeply the followers in a way that they could come to a place that doesn't matter for them that they're going to win or lose. The most important thing is they are a real follower, and the most important thing is the goal and leader. So I now want to ask you to tell me about your opinion about this specific. I still can see Mr. Muhammad Asif has his hand raised. So I'm going to start with Muhammad Asif and see Mr. Muhammad Asif what he has to say about this statement that I just had. Mr. Muhammad Asif, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Perfectly, yes.
Pardon, I was not a bit clear about that. You mean the types of influence on the process? I have to provide my information about that?
Oh, okay. So you mean you don't have any clear idea to contribute now, all right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So we can give the chance to another person, then later on we can come back to you and hear what you have to say. Let's go to other. I want to speak. Is there anybody who's gonna voluntarily start talking, or if not, I can just ask you. You can come back to Miss Nadia and give one more chance to her, because I believe she has so many things to say, but then again, problem of microphone, I think. So I'm going to unmute you, Ms. Nadia. Is there anything you want to say? Ms. Nadia?
Hello?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes? Yes. Okay, I just hear Ms. Nadia say hello, and that's it. So let's go back to Mr. Yes. Who is this? Mr. Nas. Who is that? Miss Nadia, unfortunately I cannot hear you at all. Who is this gentleman who's going to talk? I don't see any evidence on top, because I do believe if you want to talk, the best idea will be raising your hand, then I can simply locate you in the list. But I just see Mr. Muhammad Asif have the raised hand beside his name and nobody else. Who is this gentleman who's going to talk? Can you? Okay, I think here I really could understand Mr. Nasrat Vali Nuristani. You is doing manipulation is good thing. It is like you are deceiving someone. Can you, Mr. Nuristani, can you explain what exactly you meant by that?
Sir, manipulation means deceiving. For example, you are a manager and you are promising someone that if you do this job for me, so I will give you promotion or I will give you reward on award. At the end, the employee does do that, achieve that goal, but the manager is not providing him with or giving him rewards. So it is some kind of manipulation. Don't you think that manipulation is bad thing in leadership? So my point was this, that one, that whenever you are deceiving someone, it's also some kind of manipulation or forcing them to manipulate.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much for your explanation. So because I suddenly looked at the chat and I couldn't really find the basic footage and what happened that you went to that point, but your explanation kind of cleared everything up. Let's go further on a little bit and talk about direct leadership versus indirect leadership. I do believe if I want to, or before that, I think leadership versus management would be much better. The area that we were kind of explaining today very much in detail. As I told you, I do my best to explain.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, if you give us 10 minutes break time for our prayer, sir, we would be very happy, sir.
Okay.
We have to
have prayers.
Okay, no problem.
If you want,
if my friends all agree with me.
Okay, I can do that, but I cannot close down this, so I just put myself on mute for 10 minutes, then I will wait for you to come back.
That's okay, you can do that.
Yeah, that is not a problem. Definitely it's okay. Okay, so I will wait. Everybody can have this pray. After 10 minutes, please everybody be in the class, and we can have the rest of the discussion. Thank you. Okay, welcome back, guys. I hope that you all had your prayers and we can have you here. I do believe it's already 10 minutes. Yeah, thank you. So I will start. I will continue actually my whole discussion about leadership versus management. There are very good slides here that you can maneuver now here. Leaders and managers are completely different and mutually exclusive. This is by itself showing so many different actually traits and specifications that these two can have. Exclusive, by itself is showing that by the way that they're completely different, but they're absolutely exclusive to the area that they are. Managers are concerned with doing things and in right way, which is, you see, the whole concept of efficiency and effectiveness now is going to come to the picture. Managers usually all about doing things rightly, which is efficiency, which is all about making sure that all of resources are going to be used in the best possible way. We don't have any waste, defection, and so on. And on the other side, you have leaders that they are more about reaching goals and effectiveness. Effectiveness means doing the right thing. So if you want to compare these two statements together, all the time have this basic definition. Efficiency means doing things rightly, and effectiveness means doing right thing. See, so managers are all about efficiency, while leaders are trying to take care of the effectiveness. The combination of effectiveness and efficiency is going to give you the specific word in management called productivity. Productivity is time that you're sure that there is nothing wasted, and no extra cost, no defection, and the system is the leanest possible, plus is efficiency, plus all of our goals and strategies are going to pay off, and this is all about effectiveness. So having these together will contribute to the prosperity of each organization in the world. So managing plus leadership. In continuing the same topic, we have other statements here. As you can see, the first line: leaders and managers are different. If they have different roles, but don't have to be different type of people. This is really nice. Tell you, there is no specific we have the cutter differentiating between managers and leaders in terms of score, process, and intended outcome. And we have Rose's view of management as an authority relationship, leadership as a multi-directional influence relationship. So all of these things are going to tell you different aspects of this difference between management and leadership. Let's talk about direct versus indirect leadership as the final concluding part of our lecture tonight. I will definitely have to describe, make sure that you are going to raise your understanding and your contribution as well. So let's have this slide covered by explaining the first part, which is direct leadership. What is direct leadership? In direct leadership, we have some subcomponents that we have to have in our mind. Leaders' direct influence on immediate subordinates means how they can, or how fast and how agile they can have that relationship, and how significant that relationship can be. Plus, leaders' direct influence on lower level employees, peers, bosses, or outsiders. You see, for each organization, besides subordinates and leaders, there are other stakeholders. These stakeholders are basically going to be low-level employees, plus the co-workers that you have, like your peers, colleagues, bosses, and outsiders of organizations that more or less are going to be influenced by our organization. So direct leadership is going to come to these two significant subcomponents. Let's talk about indirect leadership and see how that is influencing our job. Indirect leadership, as you can see here, the first line, cascading effect of leadership influence. This is the first part. Okay. Indirect leadership is not monitoring on basic relationship that a leader or subordinate has to have, but it's talking about more influence of that relationship indirectly on other aspects of the job. Look at the second line, which is influence over formal programs, managerial system, management system, and structure form. You see, in a company like Google, if there is a leadership or a team leadership, it's all about contributing to the point that everybody can raise an issue of. And okay, we have Nasser Valley asking the question. So if you allow me to finish the whole thing, I will explain to you more about what is cascading and so on. I was telling you about the second one, influence over formal management system and structural forms. You can simply, for any basic synonym, you can all the time use your, you have access to powerful structure. You basically can click right and see the synonym and see if you have doubt about definition. I don't believe that here it's possible. Yeah, you cannot see it here. But if you have such a question, usually you can have this. I don't know whether they can save as the yeah. Later on, when I send you the bottom slide, you can save these things in your system and then see them and use the Microsoft basically privileges to that. I was explaining the managerial system plus the structural form. You see, in different organizations, they have flat organization versus vertical organization. Vertical organization is those traditional organizations that leaders are in the peak and usually have autocratic approach, while in flat organizations that I just told you, like Google, the story is different. So indirect leadership can be groomed or have blossomed in that way of leadership style as well. Let's look at the final part, which is influence over organizational culture. Each and every region or area that you have the leadership going on has its own influence on basic organizational culture. So the different subcultures definitely create different organizational software. And multinational organizations, different, for example, a company that is basically operating in different continents. For example, Asia, Europe, as well as US and so on. They have to come up with the best and the nicest way of doing the leadership, which is suiting their environment. If you go to a country like Mexico or China, these two nations are high context culture, means for making them following you or being able to cope to your organizational basically objectives, you have to be able to communicate with them in a very deep manner. Then get to follow what you want to do. But there are other nations and other cultures like German culture, like Canadian, American, or most of Western European countries, that they are low context culture. Means over there, organizational culture is going to have a low context approach, which means we don't really need to communicate deeply with your employee or subordinate or your boss and create a huge bond to be able to then negotiate, influence, or direct them. Okay, so I do believe now I basically explained the differences in leadership, direct and indirect leadership, and so on. So by concluding this one, I want to come back to you and see what are your basically opinion about what did I say. I can see Mr. Mohammed Asif Valibada make my kind of help me to explain for Mr. Nasrat that what was cascading. As you can see, exactly, cascading means expansion of effect to larger areas of influence. When you try to create synergy over different efforts happening under the same group, and try to get the best out of them. When you're working on the team, your performance is all about everybody's performance in sum, and if the synergy is positive, that performance amounts to be more than the number of people contributing. But if the synergy does not really work, that cascading goes negative. Means you were supposed to get a higher result by having these people working together as a teamwork, but you end up having lower performance. So that's all about my explanation. I want to see now if there is anybody here who's going to contribute in terms of giving his or her opinion, and after that we try to sum up the whole discussion today. If there is there anybody, you can raise your hand and then I can listen to you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Who is this? Mr. Nasser Ghali. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, this is Nasser. Sir, I just have a suggestion.
Okay.
Sir, can we say that influence over organizational culture is happening over a period of time? Like it cannot be done instantly, or we can influence an organizational culture over a period of time, for example. Am I right, sir?
You mean, can you re-mention what you just said? The first part of your work wasn't really clear. I couldn't catch it.
Sir, you have mentioned indirect leadership and influence over organizational culture is coming under indirect leadership. Sir, for example, in Afghanistan, the structure it's a class. It's a classic organizational structure, and they are doing reforms, and it's taking time. So they are doing reforms for over 10 years, but still they don't modernize. They haven't done completely modernize this government structure. So we can say that influence over organizational culture is happening over a period of time, not instantly, not overnight, right?
Exactly. That exactly is a true statement. The reason is you cannot have organizational culture or anything related to culture happening overnight. That is not a revolution. That is an evolution. Means time is needed for different components of the whole cultural organizational culture to contribute to make it happen. What is happening in Afghanistan, as I said, is a very good example to be specified in and explain this more in detail. Exactly right. You see, the whole idea of being having an agile or lean government, which is more modern rather than being traditional, has been developed definitely since years ago, but still Afghanistan unfortunately is evolving with a very old, cliche, traditional autocratic approach, which is more about the bureaucratic approach, and is definitely not going to happen overnight. You need time, you need organizational learning to be able to stimulate that organizational culture to be refined and better and better during a period of time. I hope that I could answer your question. So, Mr. Nuristani, did you understand? Did you receive my answer? Okay, thank you so much. You were mute, so I couldn't hear you. So let's go to other classmates like Mr. Muhammad Asif. I can see Mr. Harun Sahib has a question to ask. So, no, not necessarily a question. It can be your opinion about the whole thing. So, what do you think, Mr. Muhammad Harun?
Thank you. I just have one comment, maybe in the frame of a question. If you can further clarify the differences between immediate subordinates and lower level employees.
Okay, lower level employees and
and immediate subordinates.
Immediate subordinates. Okay, you see, lower level employees are those that they are not necessarily your immediate subordinates. You may be in higher level of management. For example, you are the CEO. So your immediate subordinates would be the deputy of CEO or the vice president, okay? But when you are saying lower level employees, you are specifically talking about those lower level employees that they are actually working at operational level. So they are not necessarily immediate subordinate because you're in higher level. If you are in lower level, for example, middle range management or operation management, then your immediate subordinate will be lower level employees. So you understand the difference.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So do we have anybody else who's gonna contribute, like Mr. I don't know, Shakrullah Sahib Date. Do you wanna kind of mention some basically points of view that you think is worth to be shared? Mr. Sahibzadeh, would you like to contribute and say?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I can hear you. Actually, sir, I haven't got the today class very well. Due to that reason, I don't have any idea regarding of this slide, and I hope I will try if I get something from that later on. I will explain something.
Okay, no problem. So because you join us a little bit late, no problem. That's all right. So
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see Mr. Nasrad Wali Nuristani again is asking for class structure. Okay, at the beginning of this class, I was explaining what's going on, how I'm going to assess you. Basically, this class will be based all about assignments, and you will have a group assignment. So after you're all second year or third year students, definitely you're able to basically locate your friends among the whole people attending this class. I want you to create your groups of 5 to 50 students, and basically about the detail of assignment, I will let you know next session when we come for the class, which is next week. I will tell you exactly what we are going to have for assignment structure. I actually tried to even develop maybe a basic Word file, Microsoft Word file, to tell you what you're going to do, and I will write it down for you. So basically, you have to go and do it. And your deadline for this assignment will be 2 weeks before the final of the semester. The reason is we want to make sure at the end of semester everybody has the whole assignments already submitted. I do encourage you to do it on time and do not have any delay. The reason is for having a very nice, mellow and a smooth procedure in our assessment. We do want everybody to contribute in terms of being online, and we have to have this enforcement as well by giving penalty those that they're going to be late. I'm sure that nobody is going to do that, but just for being complete, I'm going to tell you week 8, which is the 8th session of our class. I expect everybody, all of the groups to email the assignment to me. And if you have that delay, for each week you're going to have 25% deducted from your assessment. I'm sure that none of the groups are going to be entitled in this basic penalty, as far as all of you are all eager to do so. I can see there are some issues, other issues here. Maybe they said most people join the class late, like me, or if structure or document. Definitely, I will send you after this class. I will send you the basically problem slides, but the detail of your assignment plus your other slides, definitely they will come from next session on. So if you have any questions, please ask me. If not, let's call it a day. Is there any question, ladies and gentlemen? I will definitely do that. Don't worry about the document and so on. Yeah. So I do believe there should not be any questions and so on. As far as I can see, nobody raised their hand and so on. So thank you so much for attending the first class, your contribution, all of the gentlemen that basically they contributed by raising the issues and discussing their point of view. I thank you for all of your comments and so on. Still, I can see there are some chats coming up here. Say if you send PDF books, it will be better. Okay, I try to consider. I don't really understand what you mean by PDF books, but I try to find out what you can do about that. But I will do my best to give you enough material that you need for this semester. Don't worry at all. Okay. Okay. I believe somebody asked Mr. Muhammad Harun Sahib asked, did you pay for the soft copy? And the gentleman said yes. So I then again have to. I really have no idea what this topic is all about. But again, I try to find out. I try to figure it out by talking to the again and so on. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending in class. I want to end up this class right now. See you next week, and all the best. Thanks.